Dear students, welcome to video 9. This video, the title Management Thoughts or Schools Introduction. So the purpose of this lecture is to understand the background of management. So why we need to know background? Background is something related to history or evolution of a discipline or a subject, right? Management also has its own history. So how this history of management is different from other disciplines? So the management history something is different because mostly the theory of the management evolved out of the practice of the people in different organizations. Initially, some of the people may be engineers, and then the people who actually coordinated various activities of the people in construction, and then manufacturing various the products, and then activities. So out of that, the theory of management evolved, right? So in that context, we try to understand the historical background of management, and then so this video especially will give you an idea about all the thoughts of management. There are so many thoughts, so many ideas of the management, how to manage things at workplace. So in that context, we'll see that now what are the different types of thoughts that are there in the management. So if you see that the background of management, so we need to understand the fundamental vocabularies like a theory, history, and then practice. If you see the picture shows that the one is something related to the steam engine, the second one is something related to advancement in technology, right? And then further the third one is something related to robots, and then fourth one is, of course, that is related to industry 4.0, and completely using sensor system, and then using Internet of Things for processing various activities of manufacturing organizations. So something related to the development. So you'll find that a lot of development that has taken place in the practices of management. Right. So if you see the key terms like theory, so theory is a kind of the formal ideas or set of ideas that are intended to explain something. So if you have some idea, the idea you are just putting in the form of the theory, right? Recording in the form of theory. So that theory or literature is useful for others to practice. Right. So in that way, you can see the theory is a base for practice. Sometimes the practice also a kind of source for development of theory. So these two are interchangeable or interdependents. So theory and then practice. So if you see in between the history, why history is important here. Whatever we have done today, for the tomorrow, that is going to be history. So as far as the management is concerned, it is something related to decision making, it is something related to execution of activities, and then the jobs. So there are some kind of the mistakes, some kind of the right actions. So in the past, if you just look at what happened in terms of management practices, if you know that certain mistakes that are there in the past, so the present managers can avoid such type of mistakes that are there in the management by knowing the history of management. So that is the purpose of history here. So the practice is something, as I was mentioning, is something related to application of ideas. So in this context, you can see the management theories. So why theory? So a conceptual framework for organizing knowledge and providing the blueprint for the actions. So that is the main purpose of theory. Right. So we use the theory of management, or we use the thoughts of management for the application of various activities at the workplace. Right. For example, the planning, how to plan at workplace. So it is an idea of someone in the early 1900s. Right. So planning, a kind of idea generated by someone, and they kept it in the written form, and they said that the management starts with planning. Right. So that has come, of course, from the practice. So in that way, you have to see that when the person practiced the planning and recorded how to plan and written a book on planning, so that becomes a theory of planning for management. So in that way, you can see that management theories are grounded in reality, right? And the managers develop their own theories about how they should run their organizations. In that way, managers actually they practice various activities and then see that they are actually implementing various the things in the workplace. So in that way, you can say management, the theories are the set of general rules that guided the managers to manage an organization. So in the management theories, you will find certain the rules and certain the procedures, certain logical orders, logical actions. All these are different parts of theory of the management. If you see the picture that is there, the thought has emerged, and then thought published, and thought related to some kind of execution of work and the commitment, and related to experience, and then finally you'll see that the innovations and integrity that happens at the end. So this way you can see that the evolution of completely thought from idea generation to its execution, and then application, and finally seeing it is in the form of the implementation at workplace. So all these are various the dimensions of management. So there are several theories that actually supporting the practice of the management. When you see the management and other the fields of studies, so here, so we have to understand how the management is related to other subjects. So the management allied with the disciplines of behavioral science, like psychology, political science, anthropology, especially these are the three major, even economics. So these are very important the disciplines which are very much related to involvement of managerial activities. So if you see the social sciences, of course you have several social sciences which are also very important for management, and then science and technology, of course. So these are the three main the broad areas. All these are very much related to management, and management depends on all these subjects, right? When you want to manage, being a manager, you must know the behavioral sciences, you must be aware of the social sciences, and you must have the the idea of the social sciences also. In this context, you can see that the management is not staying alone, and it is a kind of interdisciplinary related to all other subjects. When you see the background of management as the history, so organized endeavors directed by the people have existed from thousands of years. You can see that the people they started working collectively and together for last thousands of years. So for example, Egypt pyramid. So how it actually built. Then the Great Wall of China, the city of Venice, Italy in 1400s. So you can see that even that old monuments, so thousands of years of old monuments, even today, you can see, and then they are existing. So how those the big monuments were constructed with the support of the people or animals, and then the material, the carrying material, designing, and the complete structuring, and then architectural the design. You can see that even in India also there are thousands of years old the temples. Right? If you see the Madurai, the temple, you can see how big is it, how actually the temple was planned, how the temple works executed, the planned and executed, and then completed the task. So there is involvement of management in human elements. So that's why the management is existing from the existence of human being. So the division of labor also came into existence in the year 1776, and Adam Smith, the classical economic theory, Wealth of Nation, it is a book. So in that he mentioned that how a state or an administrator is supposed to have the managerial activities in consuming economic resources. In that way, you can see that the historical background of management theories like early examples, and then Adam Smith's ideas and industrial revolutions. So these are the three main the things that the early examples like Egypt, as I was mentioning, Great Wall of China. So that reflects how the management existed in human activities. Adam Smith, the Wealth of Nation, and the division of labor, introducing a task can be completed by dividing it into various parts. So here, even if you want to manufacture a small safety pin, so there are different levels and different the division of works in manufacturing a small safety pin. So in that way, there is the division of work that is there in the history. So if you look at the Industrial Revolution, that is all about the machine power and mass production. So we will explain so that what is in the next slide. If you see that Industrial Revolution that has taken place in the the Civil War. So the American. So then you can see the lot of innovations, and then implementation of mechanical power in the manufacturing system, especially in the Industrial Revolutions, and that actually brought completely changes in the industrial activities. So in that way, you can see that the substitution of machines power for human power creation of factory system, and then power-driven equipments. All these are the developments that takes place in the industrial revolutions. Innovation of motor, innovation of power, innovation of machines. So use of tools like the screwdrivers, and then various mechanical tools. All these tools are invented in the industrial revolution, then started using in the industries for mass productions. So in that way, you can see that all these actually they became a kind of part of industrial revolution, and so from that also we can learn so much to see that what is the present practice of the management. If you see the early management, the pioneers who are actually the people who work for building management subject. The first one, Robert Owen in 1771 and then 1858. During this period, so this gentleman, he recognized the importance of human resources and then implemented the better working conditions through reduced child labor and then meals and then shorter hours. So that is his, the first evidence of existence of management in the ideas and then the thoughts of Robert Owen. Right? If you see the Charles Babbage in 1792 to 1871. So this gentleman focused on creating efficiencies of production through the division of labor management and the labor cooperations and application of mathematics to manage the problems. He wrote on the economy of machinery and then manufactures. So these are some evidences of the existence of management in human activities, and then early pioneers they have developed several ideas and then theories for better coordination of the human activities. If you see the evolution of management in the history, right? So this you can see the evolution of management started in the year 1875. 1875 to 1900s. So that is the beginning of the management thought. So then classical management perspective, classical management thought or classical management schools is the first thought, the first school they developed the theory for management. The second one is a behavioral perspective. It is called behavioral thoughts, behavioral the school or theory. And this perspective is talking about the human relations, and then similarly quantitative perspective, systems perspective, and contingency perspective. So that is in the present the context. So you'll find these are the 5 different the perspectives or thoughts or schools of management. Under these we are going to understand the thoughts of management to know that its historical background, evolution, and their relevance to the present and then future for the managers, the better effective practices in the organizations. So with this, let me stop here, and then looking forward to meet you in the video 10. Thank you very much.